So years ago, not sure how many years ago, a long number of years ago, I created what I called at that time a flange drum. And yesterday, I finally broke the fabricated drum head that I made from scratch. And I never even knew if this drum would function for more than a week at the time. And it lasted a long time. So I'm going to go through the process again of showing you what this thing is and kind of how I made it and how I'm going to replace the drum head, because it was kind of fun. And showing you the inside here. This simply was just a piece of conduit adapter that I bought some lug mounts and a flange from the hardware store, and I cut a piece of drum head out from another old drum head that I had, and this piece was just basically compressed between the flange halves, and it held up forever. I didn't have to tune it or anything. Yesterday on my drum covers from the wallflowers, I either blew it up on what was I've Been Delivered, or what was the last one called? I can't remember. One of the two. So this thing only has 3 lugs on it, and then it's got 3 screws that you could slap the piece of drum head in between. So I'm going to loosen up the lugs and then show you how that works. Alright, now this should come off the drum, I think. There we go. So the next step is to take the 2 halves of the flange and loosen them up with a screwdriver. Alright, so that's the 3 screws that hold the flange together. And okay, so there's the 2 halves of the flange. And you can see what I did here was I originally used a thin clear head on this. And I remember I stuck a couple of black dot stickers on this, so it kind of made it thicker. So I might have to do that again, and I have to find those black dots because I had a whole bunch of them. I wonder if there was more than one on this thing. I did that when it started getting divots prior to putting the black dot on. It looks like it's only got 1, huh? Mm-hmm. Okay, well anyway, that's what that looks like. So now I've got 2 halves of a flange. Yeah. Okay, good. Next step. So I've got a couple old pinstripe drum heads, and this one's got a divot right in the middle there. It's pretty deep, and then this has a couple on the side, but yet this is a little bit probably better condition than this one. I'm going to use the worst one. And I found my little black dot stickers. I've got a whole set of sheets of these. I got them for like $2. And I'm going to use those after I get it tightened up. So this is the bottom half of the flange that's orange. And I'm going to kind of use this pinstripe black ring as a guide, and then I'm going to sandwich the top piece on it, and then I'm going to have to poke little holes in it so I can tighten it down with the screws. Okay, so now I've kind of pierced the screw heads through the half of the flange into the drum head, and now I got to seat them onto this other piece, and I got to figure out which piece was which here. I think these were the 3 holes. Wait a minute. Did I put them in the right place? Hang on. I think I screwed up. No, it was like this, huh? Yeah, it was like that. Okay, so I gotta line up these little shapes like a puzzle. And then put it through. And this flange only costs a few bucks at a hardware store. Okay, so now I've got it through there. And I gotta tighten up these nuts on the bottom side. Okay, so I'll do that and then I'll hit back again. So I've tightened the flange down, and we had one snafu where one of these old nuts got stripped, so I replaced it with a new nut. And it dawned on me that I believe I can put this on here without trimming the edge of the head. And in essence, I'll end up with a floating drum head on top of this pipe adapter. We'll see how that goes. I'm going to attempt to keep it that way. So I've tightened up the 3 lug nuts. And these are really what provide the tone. So when I did these 3 initial nuts, they're just structural. But these 3 tighten up the head. So now I've got from the side basically a floating drum head flying saucer. And I'm not sure if I like it or hate it. What do you think? You don't like it?
I don't know if it'll fit between all your drums.
Well, I mean, I can space out the clamp and move it over. The clamp, the piece protrudes into the bottom, so that's not going to be an issue tightening it up. And I still have the same amount of room. The stud used to go through to here anyway. The rim was already, you know, above the probe. So this head's not going to impede that probe. You don't like the way it looks?
I don't know.
I think I'm going to leave it just for ease. And the reason is, I think it's going to tend to stay tighter like this than if I cut this material off the outside. Then it kind of tends to maybe get a little bit more sloppy. Whereas this, it's one intact piece of material.
Maybe.
And then once I put it on the drum head, it'll appear different than it did before. Maybe it'll get me some more questions in the future, like, hey, what the hell is that thing?
Yeah. I just need the little circle, huh?
Circle?
The black dot.
Well, I don't know if I do or not, and the reason I say it is because this is a better quality drum head than what I had used, I think, initially. So, I mean, maybe. I don't know what to think about that either. Maybe perhaps I should just play it for a while and see if it tends to get, you know, sloppy. If it does, then I could throw a black dot on it, but the thing I'm wondering about these black dots, they're older. Is the adhesive going to stick anymore? You know what? Maybe I should. They're the right size, huh? Let's go for it. Let's see what happens. Because I want it to look similar, at least to what it did before, right? It gives it a little bit more, I got to center this real careful here. Oh, I'm scared to put it on lopsided here. Well, that came out pretty good, right?
Yeah.
Okay, there it is. It's new and ready to go. Okay, so now I'm going to put it back on its post, if I can. And that's about as far. Wow, that's kind of weird. Why does it seem like it is through it? Why does it feel like it's sticking out more than it did before?
I wonder if...
I don't get it. Huh. You agree, right? Because there's the top of it right there. You know, it's kind of cool that it's closer in a way. Right?
Right.
Let me tighten it up right about there, I guess. I want it to be... I mean, it's probably easier to get to hit it. I'll tighten it up real good. It definitely looks weird. Ah, spider. All right, so I have just recently tuned this one. That sounds pretty damn good. I'm happy with that. Anything else we need to do?
Unless you want to show it from the front side.
Oh
Your-
yeah, that's
your
a good
vantage
idea. One
point.
hand off. Okay. I got a green light aiming on me here. Okay, so that's the new one. It's got the floating drumhead rim around the outside of it, which seems to be the way to go after doing this twice now. Rather than cutting a custom head, it's better just to get a 10-inch drum head and then slap it on there and have a black dot, I guess, to make it thicker. It gives it more of that muted sound.
Would an 8-inch drum head fit it?
That's a good question.
Not leaning over so much?
I don't know. That's probably how I started. There's my 8-inch mini timbali. I bet that's how I started in the past. I probably had an 8-inch head and there was nothing left. So I ended up trimming this edge off. But this is easier. So if you go to the hardware store and buy a flange and a piece of conduit adapter and a 10-inch head, you can make a floating UFO drum, is what I'm going to call it, right? And I painted up this rim and then the pipe adapter. You could paint any color, but I painted that candy apple red to match the drum set. So how's it look from the side?
This looks like a big round on it.
I mean the shell. Can you see it on the side?
Not really. I would
No.
say that way.
It's just a floating UFO head. Okay. If you hold this over here, then I can hit it a couple times from this direction. You want to aim over my head? Got it?
Got it.
All right, here we go. UFO.